You are the master that you are seeking always.
Right, we ready?
Welcome to Your Business Talks, where businesses and organisations share their products, services and passion with the community. I'm Maria Padarakis, I'm your host, and today we have a topic and a business that I'm sure you will find very interesting. Welcome Sam Young from Simmons Livingstone and Associates. You're a financial organisation and you support people in a range of ways, but specifically today we're going to talk about later years in life.
Beautiful.
People want to decide and design their retirement to best suit them. How does Simmons Livingstone support them in this area?
Okay. Look, thanks very much for having me today, Maria. I suppose our business is Simmons Livingstone Associates. We are an accounting and financial advice business.
Mm-hmm.
We're based here on the Gold Coast. We have an office up in Toowong and one down in Newcastle. We give advice across a wide array of areas, from tax planning, business planning, budgeting and finances, superannuation, but most importantly, retirement planning. For us, it's about getting to know the client, getting to understand what's important to them, and seeing how we can, improve what they already have in place.
Okay, and I guess it would be interesting to know, when should people come for planning and when do they come?
Yes, okay. Often it's, to be honest, it's a lot of the customers who we meet with come to us, 12 months or 3 to 5 years prior to when they're planning on retiring. For us, the best way to have this conversation, the best place to start is now. So, the earlier that we can start to have these conversations with people, understand what they've got going on and what's important to them, the better. But often people leave it right to towards the last minute, and I suppose, for us that makes it makes our conversations a little more difficult. But I do encourage people to come and sit down and have a chat.
It's important to have the chat in the first place, isn't it? And just not ignore it in any way.
Yeah, 100%. Often, part of what we can do, or part of our job, especially with the retirement planning conversation, is to help provide a little bit more clarity around their situation and to help them get rid of some of that grey area. So we do a lot of work with regards to, spending time with customers to get their expenses down on paper. Let's get a good idea of what you're spending and what retirement starts to look like to you. Let's get a clear idea of what age pension may look like to you, and then have a look at your overall situation, whether it be cash and term deposits, or shares and superannuation. Let's get a good idea of what you do have going on, and so that we can start to piece out a bit of a roadmap moving forward. Okay.
Now, I heard that from a magazine that I was reading once, that you need to start thinking about retirement at 45.
Yes.
Now, I'm around there. I'm around there, but there's a lot of people having families later,
yes,
and I'm one of them. So I guess thinking about those later years when you've got little ones running around can be a challenging thought for people.
Yeah, look, everyone's situation is different. So quite honestly, Maria, we have most people sort of sit in sort of 3 different stages. One is people who are accumulating or who have just finished schooling and they're just getting out into the workplace for the first time, and they're starting to save some money and travel and look at buying their first place. The second group of people is people, like you said, starting a family, and whether that be 25, 35 or 45, everyone's different. So we do a lot of work with mums and dads, with young families. And then you start to get to that next stage in life where you are starting to think about, hey, our kids are getting a little bit older, or they're starting to leave home now. Now it's back. Now the importance is back on us. What are we doing and what are we doing moving forward? What's important to us? So we see sort of 3 main stages, and the conversations that we have with people are different depending on their situation.
So, Sam, what's the difference between what men and women ask for when they're organising and planning for their later years and their retirement?
Good question, Maria. Often I find, I do a lot of meetings with, whether it be a single woman or a single man, and obviously work with couples and husbands and wives. It's really important that everybody is on the same page with the conversations that we're having, but quite often what drives people or what is important to people, I do see quite a big difference between men and women. So, often with the women that we meet with, the question's more about, or what's important to them is, what happens to me if something happens to my partner, and are my family, or am I going to be okay if something happens, and more in touch with that emotional side of things. When with the conversation, often with the conversation that we have on the other side of the fence is, men are more driven by, by how much is this going to be, or where do we need to be, and driven by, whether it be dollars and cents or rates of return and things like that. So it's about, it's really important because both parts of that need to be taken into account.
Absolutely.
And in the end of the day, we want to make sure that everyone's on the same page when they leave, because, when we're talking about their finances, it is a big part of, what you do, how you feel, and how it affects your relationship and your family. So, look, it's always best to sit down with both the husband and the wife, or in any conversation around your finances.
Absolutely. Being on the same page.
Correct.
I like that. So what would you say is the key ethos for Simmons Livingstone?
Yeah, look, we have we've built our business now over the past 5 years, and it's built on on customer service. I suppose one thing that's really important to us is we want to help people make informed decisions, whether it be about their finances or their tax or their superannuation or their retirement planning. We want to help people make an informed decision. So part of the journey that we take our clients on is just making sure that whenever they come in the door, that we're giving them some education along the way, and that whether they proceed with any advice or not, that they're walking out with more information and a better idea of what's going on than what they did when they first come in the door. So for us, it's really important that the work that we do is really important, for our customers, and also in our community. So, and we take that very seriously.
Well, thank you so much, Sam, for joining us on Your Business Talks. Now, just a really quick recap there. It's about coming in early enough. Don't leave it to the last minute. Don't delay. Get there, have that conversation, and it's probably less scary than you think. It is.
And look, whether it's through myself or through another advisor, I encourage you to sit down and at least have that conversation. Whether you act on it now or act on it down the track, at least like I said, part of it is just making sure that you upskill yourself, get some information and education, and to help you make good decisions moving forward.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sam, for being on Your Business Talks, and we will see you all next time. Bye for now. All right, we ready?